Today, we are going to break down the single most important piece of writing you'll do as an agent. I'm talking about the follow-up that can close a six-figure listing. So picture this. I'm sure you've been here. 3 agents meet with the exact same seller. Agent number 1 sends nothing. Agent 2 sends a polite but totally generic "thanks for your time." But Agent 3 mentions something specific from the conversation, that the seller's daughter is starting a new school in August. Yeah, it's pretty obvious who got that listing, right? Let's just look at the lineup here. Agent A is, well, they're not even in the game. Agent B, they checked a box. It's a nice gesture, but it's completely forgettable. Agent C, on the other hand, did something fundamentally different. This wasn't just a thank you note. It was a strategic communication. It was proof that they were actually listening. And that, right there, is the difference between being polite and closing the deal. So here's our game plan for this explainer. First, we're going to talk about what a winning follow-up really is. Then, we'll cover why context is the real closer. I'm going to give you a super simple 3-detail framework you can start using immediately. We'll even walk through how to recover a deal that's gone completely silent. And finally, we'll talk about putting all of this into practice. All right, first things first, we have to completely reframe what the follow-up is even for. This right here says it all. You have to stop thinking of the follow-up as just good manners. It's not the end of the conversation. It's the next strategic move. This is your chance to put the key parts of your consultation in writing and stand out from everyone else while their attention is at its absolute peak. And look, this isn't just a gut feeling I have. The data actually proves how critical context is to getting the deal done. I mean, the numbers really don't lie. Agents who send these context-specific follow-ups, the ones that actually reference details from the meeting, they convert consultations at a rate of 47%. Now, compare that to just 23% for generic messages. You are literally doubling your chances of winning the listing just by proving you are paying attention. And the reason this is so incredibly effective is simple. When sellers are asked what's most important in choosing an agent, demonstrated listening consistently ranks number 2. The only thing more important to them is the pricing strategy. Your follow-up is the ultimate proof that you were listening, not just about the house, but about their life. Okay, so we know why it works, but now for the big question, what do you actually write? Let's dive into a really practical framework. Here it is, a simple, repeatable framework for every follow-up. Just aim to reference 3 specific things. First, their timeline, like the daughter starting school in August. Second, a specific pricing point you talked about, the neighbor's place that just sold. And third, a personal concern they brought up, like how they're worried about showing the house with their dogs around. And here's why this is so key. Referencing these details proves you didn't just hear them, it proves you understood them. It shows you get the weight of their concerns. And that, right there, transforms you from just another agent into a strategic partner who is already thinking about their specific problems. But what if you sent the follow-up and the deal has just gone cold? Well, this same exact framework is powerful enough to revive a conversation, even after weeks of silence. Let's look at a timeline we've all experienced. Day 1, you have a fantastic consultation. Day 2, you send a great follow-up. And then, crickets, nothing. We're at day 21 now, total radio silence. The temptation is to send that weak, just checking in email, but that adds 0 value and just makes you look desperate. So what's the move? You use context. This email doesn't ask for a single thing. It gives something of value. It references a specific detail from your original meeting, their concerns about pricing, and it delivers brand new, relevant information. This move immediately reestablishes your value and puts you right back in the expert seat. So let's break down why this is so effective. 1, it's context specific. It ties directly back to your first meeting. 2, it delivers new value, which gives them a compelling reason to actually write back. 3, it shows you're still paying attention to their situation weeks later. And most important of all, it is the polar opposite of that useless just checking in email. So how do we make this our default way of doing things? How do we put this into practice every single time? Let's put a clear definition on this whole idea. A context-aware follow-up is not a recap. It is a written demonstration of your attention and your expertise, and its entire purpose is to carry the momentum forward and get the deal to the next step. Now look, trying to remember every single detail from every meeting, it can be tough, especially when you're busy. This is precisely what CMAflow's email drafter is built for. It automatically pulls the deal's context,
all those pricing points, the client's concerns, the timeline directly into a draft for you. So instead of staring at a blank page, you start with the key details already there. All you have to do is adjust it, personalize it, and send. So I'll leave you with this one question. The next time you walk out of a listing consultation, ask yourself, is the email I'm about to write just a courtesy, or is it my closing tool? Because that answer could be the difference between getting the signature and getting silence. Thanks for watching.